Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 615 of the Two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody, welcome back. We got a brand new, fresh week. It's Monday morning. And Mike, we're only at the end of the week, we'll be on episode 619.
Wow.
What does that tell you? 619. What is that?
It's
What
Rey
is,
Mysterio.
that's right, baby. I real quick before we get started, is Rey Mysterio really in real life Dominic's dad? Or is that
Yeah.
just, is he really
No,
like,
that's really his dad. Yeah, yeah. They're really
okay,
father and son. Yeah, yeah.
huh? How
It's
did that
not, yeah.
happen? His wife must be 30 feet tall.
I know,
You
right?
know?
Ray's like 4 foot nothing. And well, I don't know. Like, how tall is Dom compared to his dad? He might just be an average height.
Yeah, right. Uh, yeah, I wondered that the other day. I thought to myself, a lot of people always make the joke about Eddie Guerrero, of course, looking like Dominic, but I
Yeah.
never really, believed that. But I thought to myself, is that even his real son? I wonder. Maybe that's that's just been a gimmick the whole time, but apparently it's true, right?
It's true.
It's true. It's damn true.
It's
Well,
damn true.
welcome
Can we
back to
just
the
talk about
show.
can we just talk about wrestling all day
I
instead of
know.
what happened yesterday?
A lot of things to talk about over the weekend, guys. We have, of course, the Steeler game yesterday. We're going to get into in depth. Pittsburgh Pirates wrap up their season. That's right there. You're done. You can no longer come home after a long day and watch your favorite baseball team. Pirates are done as of yesterday. Pittsburgh Riverhounds are back in action on Saturday. The Penguins with a makeup game today that they didn't get to play over the weekend. Excuse me. Also, a little bit of NCAA football scoop, little high school news here in the Western Pennsylvania area. WNBA, a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff went down over the weekend. So we have lots and lots of things to go over today. So welcome back, everybody.
This.
Uh,
Yeah, that sums it up.
Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday back in action. They play the Indianapolis Colts. The Steelers come into the game with a 3-0 record. The Indianapolis Colts come in with a 1-2 record. You kind of expected this game to be good. You were hoping that it wouldn't be a trap game.
Yeah.
You hope that you were able to stack a little bit more before you get into the next quarter of the season, which we'll talk about a little bit more as we go on. But Mike, let me go over the scores in the division for the day. The whole entire division did play yesterday. The Cincinnati Bengals, they win the first game of the day. They were the first team to record a score. They won. They won 34-24 over the Carolina Panthers. The Las Vegas Raiders taking another win against an AFC North team. The Raiders
Mm.
20, the Cleveland Browns 16. And finally, the Baltimore Ravens last night, they spanked Buffalo. It caught me off guard. I expected possibly the Ravens could win this game, but the fact that they came out and just utterly dominated the Buffalo Bills is what I didn't really care for. Uh, but that is the division as we speak right now. The Steelers are still in first place at top with a 3-1 record. The Baltimore Ravens just a game behind them with a 2-2. And the two teams from Ohio, Cincinnati and Cleveland, both fall to 1-3 in the division. And they will again, they are at the bottom of the division with 1-3 records. Mike, yesterday the Steelers did play. They played the Colts this game. I came away with this game with more questions than I have answers.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened through the course of this game, but I'm going to sum it up in just a couple words in what happened. If anyone's wondering, yes, there were stupid penalties. Yes, there were calls that probably shouldn't have been called. Yes, there were things that were probably should have been called. But I believe this. I believe this with all my heart. If the Steelers they lose by way of the trenches from beginning to end, the trenches is where it was lost, is where it was won by Indianapolis. And I do want to make an announcement as well, guys. As of this morning, about a little less than an hour ago, we did lose James Daniels for the season. Just another insult to the injury. James Daniels down with a torn Achilles. He is out for the season. This is not what the Steelers needed. As I started talking about winning and losing the game in the trenches,
Yeah.
offensive line, we're playing with Swiss cheese here. I mean, come on. And then on the defensive line, if the aging defensive line can't stop the run a little bit better than what they did yesterday, it wasn't that they got dominated, Mike. from the running game. Again, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, he only ran for 88 yards, but it was timely runs, it was big runs, it
Hmm.
was runs when they needed a first down. They were able to get these first downs. So, again, a lot of things happened over the course of the game that cost the Steelers. People want to walk away and say, you know what, they didn't look that good. You know what, for the first few quarters, you could argue that they never really looked that good. The Pittsburgh
Yeah.
Steelers are generally a slow starting team, and through the course of the game, it came back to bite them. They did in the fourth quarter make a nice comeback. They could have, they were in the game long enough. It came down to, we threw on a fourth down and we didn't convert. They ended up winning the game. So at the end of the day, the Steelers, they did lose by 3 points, 27-24. After the Steelers are down 17-0 in the first quarter, I think a 27-24 loss is okay with a lot of people. But again,
Yeah.
there's still a lot of things that we have to talk about. Again, for me, it starts in the trenches. For me, it starts in the trenches on offense. For me, it starts in the trenches on defense. For me, that's where the game was lost for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Colts were able to move the ball at will all game, and we were not. And again, not much to blame, but the poorest offensive line. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Which again, we lose James Daniels as of this morning for the season. Again, James Daniels is done, torn Achilles. So now on top of Spencer Anderson, a backup, he's going to be starting. Mitch McConnell, a rookie backup, he's going to be starting. Zach Frazier, a rookie, he's going to continue to be starting. Uh, Broderick Jones, we're running out of options. We have no further choice with him. Broderick Jones will
yeah.
continue to be starting, and then of course the gentleman I'm forgetting is Dan Moore Jr. will continue to be the experienced veteran on this line. So, with that being said, Mike, before I pass it over to you, you managed to take these four games. I try to break it down into
Yeah.
four fours, four sets of four. You beat Atlanta, you beat Denver, you beat I don't know who we beat, San Diego, the Chargers, Los Angeles, and then you lost to the Colts. Next four games include Dallas, the Raiders, who again is having pretty good success against the AFC North this year, beating both the Ravens and the Browns. Also in this mix is the Giants and the Jets. So those are your next four games. I don't think it's in that particular order. It may be. And then after that, you have a Washington Commanders team, Mike, who's looking a lot better than they usually do, sitting in first place in the NFC East. And then once that is over, we do turn into that final stretch of games of the sixth division, Philadelphia and Kansas City. So with that being said, Mike, before we actually get into the details of the game, how do you feel the state of this team is at the moment?
Uh, Not good right now. Just because, like you said, that offensive line, and if teams can run on us the way they were starting to yesterday, it's going to be make for a long season. It's still a passing league, but if you can run the ball, you can dominate any team, and that's what happened there. We didn't start getting stops until we were able to stop the run consistently, so that has me worried. I like how this team once again shows they will not quit. They found a way to scratch and claw their way back into it, but I would like a faster start. I'd like these players to show a little sense of urgency out of the gate. It's frustrating. It's like, the Penguins and the Steelers, they are slow starting teams, two games, and right, neither of them
And I know
have
you
the
don't want to
firepower
include it in
anymore
there,
to come
Mike, but the
back.
Pirates are too. You just got to
Yeah, I
include
know.
them,
Like
guys.
it's a Pittsburgh thing. Well, the Pirates don't matter right now.
It's like
Their
going somewhere
season's
with your
done.
little brother when you're a kid.
Yeah, yeah. This is the tag
Got
along,
to
but like
include
these
them.
two, the two marquee franchises, for some odd reason, like to start off slow, and it's frustrating. But there was a lot of negatives in this game. But if we're gonna take, we had those three wins, we took negatives out of it. So this game, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take some positives out of it too. We saw signs of life from Justin Fields. Like we know who would have thought that he would have had this type of maturity to just to remain calm in the pocket, remain calm throughout the game to help bring the team back to potentially get us on that drive. Yeah, he had some mistakes, but this it felt like a Big Ben type game. Start off slow, get us there in position at the end, and something weird happens. Like his stat line. it was like one of the best we've seen since Big Ben. I liked a lot of the decisions he made in the pocket.
Which
There were
again, the
some,
guy's been a starter for 3 years. You'd
yeah,
hope to see these results from him,
yeah,
correct?
yeah,
I think that
yeah. You did, you would, but like people were still questioning, okay, was it him or was it the team in Chicago why he wasn't
right.
playing well? I think we're starting to see it Chicago was the problem. Um, but this O line, they need Sayamalu back. I'm not for rushing people back from injuries, but he might have to be rushed back. Roman Wilson, he might be a rookie, might have trouble catching up onto this moving train, getting up to speed of what we want to do on offense, but he needs to be out there. It's going to be all hands on deck right now because it's going to get a long season. This schedule is getting harder and harder than what it already was. Because, like you said, the Raiders are knocking off the AFC North. They might be the AFC North champs. Washington's looking like a real NFL football team. I don't like that. Cowboys are banged up, but it's the regular season. I'm not going to count out Dak Prescott. So they have things to clean up. I think we can win a bunch of games coming up, but it's going to be a lot harder now the way the offensive line is banged up.
Let me address a couple of the
Yeah.
messages on the board. We have a lot going on here. John says Ryan must watch the game with me and Terry Bongshaw. The weed makes you think questions like which Krispy Kreme donuts do I want? No deep thinking. I do need that a little bit in my life, John. Kenneth, good morning. Welcome back, my friend. As always, great to see you. He says the season is still unfolding. A lot of teams we thought we're not going to be good or beating. You know what? You're 100% right, Kenneth. We were saying, Mike and I were saying right before the show, it's been an odd year, and again, I don't know if it's by way of the NFL making it an odd year by way of timely penalties, and I mean, I don't have to make this argument. You see what's going on around the league. It's not just us. I want to throw that out there. We're not the only people being screwed by penalties. It is a league wide thing. Maybe that's why it's a little bit more parity in the league this year. But you're right, especially with Buffalo going down last night. Buffalo now they're not winless. Baltimore gets themselves another win. So it's just this big clump of teams, basically. Nobody's dominating. Think about it. Is there anybody that's really dominating in the NFL this year? And even the teams that are really bad are finding ways to get wins. For example, the Denver Broncos over the Jets, who some would assume to be a pretty good team this year. So there's a lot going on in the NFL this year. Again, you're right. It is still unfolding. But from the first quarter of the season, we're 3-1. It doesn't get much better than that. It's not a great 3-1, but at the end of the day, we were able to stack a couple wins early that we were able to stack, and we're still sitting in a position 1 quarter through the season
Yep.
in first place, atop the division. Let me hop to John's next comment. He says they want to win with the big rush. That isn't happening. The O line is the issue. Patterson looks better than Harris because he has vision and Najee doesn't. You know what I discovered yesterday with Najee? What the word that I have been looking for all year long, maybe for about 3 years now about Najee Harris. He lacks explosion. There's no explosion in
Mhm.
his run. None. You sit there and you say to yourself, what is different? What is different between Najee and what's the difference between Jaylen Warren? He just has no explosion in his run. So therefore, he's taking a lot of the hits that he could be taking in the second layer, even the third layer. He's battling these guys through the line because again, he has no explosion to blow through there. I don't say that the guy's not a good runner. I think he is a really good running back. He lacks explosion. Now, Patterson, he hits the hole and he hits it fast. Again, this isn't your ideal running back. He isn't our starting running back. At the end of the day, this guy, Patterson, he has explosion into the line. And
Mhm.
that's it's obvious.
Yeah,
Um,
like if Najee doesn't have a big run lane, he's hesitant to hit that hole. Like,
right.
you're not a Le'Veon Bell where you can literally stop running and then
And he's a big,
accelerate.
strong guy. I don't understand
Yeah,
why
it is.
he lacks
You,
explosion.
yeah, you just got to bang it up in there, dude. Patton, get what you can get, and you're going to wear down that defensive line. And like I think John in one of his comments saying they're not playing the way they want to, and that's a concern. I think they need to just realize like they're going to be able to move the ball more efficiently by pass using the pass to set up the run. That's
Do
how
you
it was
like this
working
whole new
later in the
thing that
game.
they're doing now, Mike, with these, like Justin Fields will run around for a minute and then he just dumps it off to the guy that's 2 yards in front of him. There's sometimes I think to myself, he could gain
Uh,
more by just taking
by
off
just running.
upfield.
Yeah, but I'd rather my quarterback let the receivers take the hit than my quarterback take the hit. I don't want Fields
Absolutely.
to get hurt. So
But then if you have the
it's a smart.
athletic back, why do you have him though? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's
There's
go
a
to, go ahead.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh no. You're good. You're good.
All right, then, Ken, this next question or comment was everybody had a bad loss. We at least came back and had a
Yeah,
chance to win.
that's huge.
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
James Daniels news is not good, though, but if Ciamalo could be healthy
Yep.
moving forward, we can slide McCormick over. John then says what you just said. And then he also says,
Yeah.
so far, Washington looks the best. You're absolutely right, John. I cannot believe what's going on in Washington. But the one guy that what was his name, McLaren,
Yeah.
we were
Oh,
talking
that dude
about
is a
having
damn good
interest
receiver.
in the offseason. Of course, we passed on him because we waited on Ayuk a little too long, and he's
Uh,
making
yeah.
great leaps and bounds in Washington, and you're
Yeah.
seeing it in their record.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams were waiting to see if Washington would trade him, look to do a total rebuild. It's not like it's not the old Commanders down there. I don't
No,
like this new regime down here. They have their shit together. I
this
don't
ain't
like.
your father's Redskins team we're
No,
watching
it's
in
not.
Washington.
No, it's terrible. But
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's that O line. It's. I thought it would be a strength, get better as the year went on, but whew,
yeah, the offensive line is really becoming an issue, not just because of poor play. Guys, these injuries are they're just it's devastating
yeah.
this team. They're going to have a difficult time doing much of anything moving
Uh
forward
huh.
because again, you have to be able to win in the trenches. And right now,
Can't.
again, with an aging defensive line and an offensive line that's falling, like nothing I've ever seen before. How many times in your life you've seen the injury bug? Many, but this
No,
guy's this is something of
and
proportions I've never saw before.
it's starters all across, not just the line, but all across both sides of the ball. Key starters, and we're starting to get the backups injured too. It's going to be scary. Like you said off air, I think we're going to just end up getting all the guys off the street playing. We're going to have to start going after practice squad. It's going to be rough. And like John said, when the QB leads the team in rushing for a game, that's bad. Yeah,
Absolutely. And then you can look back, of course, we
it was
just mentioned
rough.
the defensive line, the next layer. I don't know, guys. I'm yet to be wowed by Patrick Queen. I got to
Yeah,
tell you, even a young kid that I'm wowed with as a rookie is Peyton Wilson. He tackles everybody, but he's always a step behind on coverage. They're having a hard time keeping the middle of the field coverage with those
yeah.
linebackers and tight ends and uh, people in that situation.
It's
TJ
like
Watt.
he's. I was gonna say real quick with Wilson. It's like he's right now. He's slow to recognize the key of the play, like who his man is, where they're gonna go, where his zone assignment is. I think that will get cleaned up the more and more he plays. He's still a rookie playing a lot of snaps. I think that will clean up for him. But Patrick Queen's the one I'm worried about.
TJ Watt, another one who didn't quite show up yesterday, but I'm not too disappointed about TJ. 75% of his game so far, he was very effective. He was wrecking things. Yesterday you would have liked to seen him more involved, but obviously the Colts had a game plan. The guy wasn't able to get to the quarterback. He didn't record a sack. Dropped back to the defensive backfield. I thought they played okay. There was a couple things here and there by a couple players we'll get into more. But back to what I really feel is an issue, Mike, and this is going to be an issue through the duration of the season. As John said on the board here in the last comment, the O line is a big problem. He said I adjusted my expectations. No two ways about it. There's really nothing that you could do about this. If there's an issue in your there's turnover issues. This is something you could deal with in practice. You could talk about it. You could work on it, do certain drills, anything. But when you're losing your offensive line at the rate that we're losing our offensive line, you got to think, geez, this is going to be a long season.
The only thing with this O line that I would do, I would adjust. I'd abandon any type of zone blocking. It's just going to be straight ahead in the run game, straight ahead run blocking, simple pulls, simple traps, none of the zone blocking. That way, these guys don't have to think to see the guy in front of you, go hit him. You're pulling, find a guy, hit him. Back to the basics on the run game. That's what I would do. Just because you have so many young guys out there at that point, just make it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't no paralysis by analysis, any other cliche you want to throw out there. Just keep it simple because they need it simple. Because we saw on the play where Fields had the sack and the fumble, Broderick Jones is pointing to a blitzer to for like it's like he's trying to key someone to block it. You were the end of the line, and there was no running back there, dude.
Yeah.
You let him go through. It's I have to go back and look at the play. I don't know if there were two guys there, and he was pointing out the free rusher, but it was like simple communication stuff on the O line and in the linebacking core and in throughout the whole defense. And Patrick Queen, give credit to him, he did take the blame for it. He said all the communication stuff was on me. I dropped the ball there. At least someone on that defense is stepping up and taking blame.
To answer the latest comment from Kenneth, he says, speaking of O line, do we still wish we traded Dan Moore Jr., Steelers Nation? Mike might be the only person in Steeler Nation that did not want to trade, did not want to move
No,
Dan Moore Jr.
no, I did not.
I'm guilty as well, but Mike had stayed consistent with this because he'd said, you know what, we're going to need Dan Moore Jr. He
Yeah.
is going to be a veteran on this line. And Mike, you might be the only person that I could
Uh,
recall saying that.
I just saw him get better and better year in, year out. Was nothing flashy. Held his own against some of the better guys in the league. Usually got dominated against guys you never heard of. And he's a valuable member of this team. And now he's the most experienced offensive lineman on the team. Yinzer Nation is
He's our
they don't know
Justin
what to do with
Kelsey.
Dan Moore now. They
Yeah.
don't know what to do with him right now. For once, I was right about a player. I'm taking a victory lap.
Very rare, very rare. You got to
It might
take
be
your
the
lap.
only time I've kind of been right.
Um,
Right, exactly. Yeah, he's only mid-20s, fourth
yeah.
round pick, man. He should be celebrated.
And another
Like,
thing somebody did mention here earlier, Mike, we're only Dan is worth more each day. I like
Jesus
it.
God.
Uh, we're only like we knocked out a quarter of the season, of course, so we only have a quarter of the season left until Cam Sutton gets back. Also, I did
Yeah.
catch that, and if I didn't say something, I would have forgot because we were going to move
Yeah.
on here a little bit. Let me get some numbers out for the game yesterday. These were the team stats. If you're wondering how the team this looked like a really good game.
Yeah.
If you would look at these team stats, let me read them, guys. The Pittsburgh Steelers in total yards 404, Indianapolis 358, so 50 more yards, almost more than the Colts' offense for the day. Believe that or not, I think it all came in the fourth quarter. But
I think so.
passing, we had 282, they had 225. Rushing, we had 122 yards, they had 133 yards. First downs, we had 23 first downs, they had 22 first downs. So far, this sounds like a pretty damn good game. Third down conversions. We were 6 for 13. We were a little under 50%. They were 8 for 15, a little over 50%. Fourth downs, we were 0 for 2. Total plays, we had 68. They had 64. Sacks allowed, we gave up 4. They gave up 2. Penalties on the day, we had 6 against us for a total of 53 yards. They had four penalties for a total of 38 yards. We had turned the ball over twice. They had turned the ball over none. Yet the time of possession was 31-29, our favor, give or take some seconds. So if you look at the team stats from top to bottom, it was a good game. And at the end of the day, you see a 27-24. It was a good game. And we just got our scoring in later. But again, the one thing you can't take your eyes off in this game is the offensive line and what happened in the trenches. We were unable to stop them all day. We were unable to get it. I think one play that Cam fell on a quarterback in the backfield. I think it was on a Nick Herbig sack, and they took the sack from Herbig and gave it to Cam. And then on another play, I believe we had another sack. But guys, the trenches, we got killed. And as I said, on offense, it's not looking any better. You're losing guys fast. And a game like Dallas, I think, could be really difficult with when you're battling this kind of situation with your team.
Yeah, I like what I saw from the offense in the second half. If they can play like we were talking off air, I think we've been saying the same thing for years now. If they can play like that all game long, this offense could be dangerous. I think they're relying too much on the run game early on. So let Fields get out there, get into a rhythm early. Hit some quick passes. Teams are no, we want to establish the run. Let's use that in our favor. Mix in play action first, second down. Have them second guessing because they know we love to run on second down. We run the most on second down league, and we gain like the most yardage on second down. We average like 4 point some odd yards per rush on second down. So we're gaining yards, but we rely on it too much. Mix and match that offense up so we don't have to play from behind like this. So the offense doesn't come out sluggish. Don't be afraid to pass early and often in the game, then rely on the game in this run game in the second half. They need to do something because we have a lot of plays that work. We put some drives together that work. They're just taking too long to figure it out. And with the line the way it is, did quick passes, man. Quick passes, get the ball in and out of his hand.
Yeah, in the first quarter, the
I'll
first
try
half
something.
for sure, the first half for sure, finding a rhythm on the offense
Hmm.
was very difficult to do. You ask yourself, why is this team able to score 17 points in the last 3 minutes, last quarter of the game, but yet the first three quarters, there's just no rhythm in the offense. I've
Yep.
always said this: if you're struggling on offense, why don't you just go with the 2 minute offense, because that always seems to work
Yeah.
and it puts
A
people on
little
their
jump
heels a
start.
little bit. Absolutely. And they what they did, I thought, was pretty smart on offense. They were able to mix things up. They came
Hmm.
out, threw the ball long, and not only threw the ball downfield on first down, they completed it a couple times. That certainly helps a
Yeah.
lot. Now the defense is on their heels. Are they going
Hmm.
to run? Are they going to pass? Are they going to? So
Yeah. And they
Indianapolis, you
mixed
can't
it
take
like,
away from what they did. They played a good game
they
yesterday.
did. Like Indy came out too. They came out smart. They came out, like you said, they completed those big plays, and then they were immediately back up on the line, ready to go. They caught us off guard with that hurry up offense in their first couple drives. That was smart by them.
And
They
I
got us on their heels.
and I wasn't I wasn't terrified when Joe Flacco came. And I'm not scared of Joe Flacco, but boy, does it seem like he always tends to work some
Uh,
magic when he's out there.
he does. He does, except when he was on Baltimore for a while there. He struggled against us ever since the Cleveland last year, and now Indy this year. I hate Joe Flacco. Always have, always will. And yeah, this team is missing Jalen Warren. They need
Absolutely.
that little cannonball in the backfield because he'll run full speed into that line and force himself through and make a hole.
Yeah.
He's just valuable in the pass game as a receiver, as a blocker. Damn good running back.
A couple other things here. The Steelers, they did score 3 touchdowns yesterday, which tied, matched what they had scored through the first 3 games of the season. So that's somewhat encouraging. Uh,
Flood
what?
the dam broke yesterday, baby. We scored three touchdowns
That's right.
or two or yeah, three.
The couple things that were done coaching wise that I disagree with. I
Yeah.
think Mike has a counter argument, but going for it on fourth down on your own 39-yard line in the first quarter when being down 14-0, I thought was not the best call in the world, because what happened was is we have a very porous offensive line. If you have a strong offensive line, maybe. But I think the fact that our line is the way that it is, you got to take that down a little bit, and the percentage has to come down. They didn't end up converting, and Indianapolis scored 3 points, made it 17-0, which we ultimately lost by 3 points. Again, there's a lot of other things you could point to through the course of the game. Pickens fumbles the ball inside the 5 yard
Oh,
line before the half was big. Injuries again. Daniels, Patterson, both of these guys, they go down with ankles, of course. Fields is fumbled later on in the game. A lot of things, certainly played into this, but at the end of the day, we were outplayed. No two ways about it. But when you look at numbers from top to bottom, you look at team stats, you look at the score, you lose by 3 points, 27-24 after going 3-0. It could be a lot worse, right? You're 3-1,
yeah.
and your only loss is a 3 point loss to a team that played you pretty good. So
Yeah. And I'll take it. It sucks, but we're sitting at 3-1, a lot better than I thought we would be. I thought we'd be 2-2. So
well, if you listen to
I'll
people from
gladly take
Ohio,
the.
Mike, we would have been underneath the Cleveland
Well,
Browns
yeah,
and the Cincy Bengals, and they're sitting there with 1-3 records
yeah,
after a
yeah.
month.
Well, the National Football Media is saying the Steelers were supposed to be the bottom dwellers of this division. Very few people gave us credit, and we're sitting all right now. We're sitting 3-1 through 4 games. When you're sitting 3-1, you have a 68% chance of winning your division, like and a
I wonder
eight
what the
percent chance of
percentages
making the
are,
wild card.
Mike.
So
I
we'll
wonder what the
take it.
percentage are is if your offensive line is Swiss cheese.
Well,
I
hey,
don't.
hey, that didn't factor. Hey, let me have some positive news
Oh
here,
no, I mean,
man.
I listen. I'm being
I
optimistic
know.
today as well
Yeah,
for
but
whatever
yeah,
reason. But
yeah, that doesn't factor in,
we're just having
devastating.
such a bad situation with these injuries.
Yeah,
Again, Patterson goes down yesterday with the ankle, and James Daniels goes down for the season with the torn Achilles. That's big, guys. Uh, I don't think Calvin Austin the third touched the ball enough. He had one catch early, and it was in the first quarter. Didn't get any more targets. Also, he had a nice punt return, one punt return for 30 yards. Almost broke that play. I'd like to see a little bit more Calvin Austin the third in their offensive game plan. Uh, and you know
me
what else?
too.
You know what else didn't
It,
really? You know what else really I liked? I liked the fact that again that Taylor didn't kill us. It seemed like he was going too early. I thought we're not going to
mm-hmm.
be able to stop this guy. He's going to have 200 yards. The fact the guy only finished with 88 yards, I thought uh, somewhere in there in that big mess, you have to
Yeah,
kind of give the Steelers credit.
yeah. They locked it down in the second half. That defense did. keep the game close the most part, or they stifled that run game. That was huge, but the passing defense he did improved in. Like Ken's saying, like back to Najee. That's probably why they didn't pick up that fifth year option. You don't know what you're getting out of Najee. And yeah, his post game interview is starting to sound like he went to the Cam Hayward post game interview.
Oh,
Blame
really? I
everyone.
missed this. What happened?
Oh, he's just always so negative in his. Yeah, I can't stand Najee interviews. I don't listen to him anymore. Ugh.
Um, Here, let's do some more numbers here, guys. These are individual. These are players' numbers on the offense. Let me find. Okay, so Fields went 22 for 34. Is there any question that Fields is our starting quarterback?
No, no. You know what? He is what he is at this point in his career when it comes to like the bad snaps and the fumbles. It is what it is. It happens.
I mean,
Um,
with the
it
bad
sucks.
snap
You want to clean
later
it
on,
up.
Mike, in the shotgun where he got hit in the head, that wasn't
Yeah.
his fault. That, of course, was
He
Frazier.
he said it was his fault. He's taking the blame.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've seen it though. He got hit in the side of the head, and then the other play early on in the game where he trips on Frazier's foot, and so
That
fundamental things like
happens.
that. It's happening a little too much with this
I
team. I'd
know.
like to see them clean up the
Yeah.
fundamentals. That's where a lot of games are won as well, just by being able to do the right things at the
Hmm.
right time, and then again with the trench play. So again, that was
But I'm
impressive.
riding with Fields all season long at this point. Just screw it.
Fields went 22 for 34, 312 yards. I'm pretty sure it all came on that last drive of the game. One touchdown. He also had 10 rushes for 55 yards, two touchdowns on the ground. Patterson had 6 carries for 43 yards. Harris had 13 carries for 19
Oof.
yards. George Pickens, 7 catches, 113. Muth, 5 catches, 57 and a touch. Harris had 3 catches out of the backfield for 54. What I think that's a lot of times Harris breaks down it. He's able to catch the ball out of the backfield, and that's what makes him valuable as well. Even when he's not having an explosive day on the ground, he was still able to rack up 54 yards on 3 carries. Darnell Mount Washington, he gets 2 catches for 31. Van Jefferson, hey, he had a big day, 2 catches for 21 yards.
Career
Also,
high.
also career. I'm sorry, Calvin Austin had 1 catch early in the game, so I would love
Yeah.
love to see more out of him. He's got way
Yeah.
too much speed, and every time he touches the ball, big things seem to happen.
Yeah. Like and big Darnell Washington, man. Leaping over defenders. I want to see him more involved in the
I
passing
have trouble
game.
leaping over a puddle. Do you see the
Yeah.
guy? I mean, the guy's
Yeah.
270
He
pounds, Mike.
he it was an athletic play, but my God, that whole run and the leap, it all looks so stiff. Didn't
See,
look
you
fluid
keep
at
saying
all,
that. I
but
don't
it
see the
worked. I love
stiffness.
it, man. I
I'm
love it
seeing a
though. It's
more
fun.
athletic Washington, because there was
He's
another play in that game that he made a big play, and
yeah.
he looked very, very
I'm just saying,
good.
like compared to like everyone else, but the dude is like 6'7",
Yeah,
nine hundred
nobody else is
pounds. So
270 pounds and six
I
seven
know.
either.
Yeah. So he was moving good, but it was comical to me to watching him run and hurdle over people.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, Deshaun Watson leads the team with 8 and 4, total of
Elliot.
12 tackles. Ogunjobi had a half a sack. Beanie Bishop had a half a sack. Cam Hayward had the sack that I really feel that he stole from Herbig. Calvin Austin third had 1 punt return for 30 yards. For the
That
Colts,
was
their
huge.
leaders were Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He had 88 yards, 1 touchdown run. Michael Pittman had 6 catches for 113. That hurts.
Oh,
Uh,
Downs.
Josh
Down.
Down syndrome
Oh,
had 8 catches for 82 yards. And then that EJ Speed for their on their defense, he had 12 tackles and 1 assisted tackle for a total of
God.
13
He was
tackles.
all over the place. My Lord.
Was he the one that was giving us shit about the
No,
terrible towel?
no, that was Zaire Franklin.
Okay. Well, I
And
want to see what
before
happens to these guys next.
and before the game, Colts fans were burning the terrible towel.
Well, you know what? It never really affects this game because you think when Cincy they used to beat us,
Yeah, and
and
they were
then
taken.
then they did something to the terrible towel, and then they start stinking after
Yeah.
that. And same with Tennessee Titans, they beat us that game, and you see what's happening in Jacksonville. Mike 0-4, 0-4 game. They could have totally won over Houston. They lost yesterday. They still, I don't, I think they're
Yep.
3-10 since they defaced the terrible towel last
Mm-hmm.
season. So I watch for the future of the Colts because I do believe in the terrible towel and its curse. But Mike, we do have to continue playing forward next Sunday. Sunday night at 8:20, the Dallas Cowboys come to town. Not only Dallas Cowboys, but Snoop Doggy Dogg. Snoop Doggy Dogg, that's right, will be at Acrisure Stadium on Sunday night as well for the big game against the Cowboys. Cowboys coming to town next weekend with a 2-2 record. The Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, 3-1, and they will not be bringing Micah Parsons or Demarcus Lawrence. So that's pretty big, Mike,
Yeah.
for on the defensive side of the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Yeah, that helps us big time because those two are like Demarcus Lawrence is still playing at a high level this late in his career. He dude's a beast. Micah Parsons is all over the place. That helps, but their secondary is still pretty good back there with Diggs and Bland. But I think I think this is a winnable game for the Steelers. I really do. And Yinzer Nation's going to be fired up. A Sunday night game. They're going to be tailgating all night long. That place is going to be rocking and rolling.
Yeah, Sunday's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of people may feel down. They may feel a little discouraged, a little pessimistic after the game yesterday. But I got to tell you, I don't. You're not going to win every game. The Pittsburgh Steelers aren't this great team. They're rebuilding.
Yeah.
They have a lot of issues. And the fact that they're 3-1 and their only loss is a 3-point loss. You know what? I'll take that. Again, I think that Dallas is a winnable game as well. They're not playing great football. They have bright spots. CC Lamb, of course, in that receiving core is going to be difficult for us to play
Oh
coverage
yeah.
on. And there's a lot of things. They have a nice team, no two ways about it. And then their defense is nice. So this game will be a good one coming Sunday night. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be hosting the Dallas Cowboys, a classic matchup because just anytime these two teams play, it just is.
Yeah, it's a marquee matchup, man. I can't wait. Oh, I already put this game behind me. I'm ready. I'm ready for Dallas.
Absolutely. Hopefully the team could do the same. If they could continue to, look forward and go one game at a time, then I think they're going to be okay. I think they have a chance to stay in a lot of games this year.
Mhm.
It's not really different from what we've had over the past couple of years, but you are seeing improvements. And if this team could continue to get better, but again, my concern is the trenches. My concern
Yeah.
is the injuries. My concern is the injuries in the trenches.
Yeah.
This is going to be what is the Achilles heel of this team, unfortunately. You need
I,
a strong line. You need a strong line. I mean, you look at the Philadelphia team a couple of years ago in a Super Bowl. What did you just? This team's offensive line they're great.
yeah, I thought this line was going to be a strength of this team, and now it's the weak link of the team just through injuries. Like, Frazier had a couple bad snaps, but he's playing really good football. Dan Moore's playing good football. James Daniels was one of the better guards in the league till he gets hurt. Sam Wallace, a steady influence on that team. The right tackle was going to sort itself out. You thought, okay, we got our line. We probably have one quarterback. We do have that quarterback. Things are going to fall into place, and then it just started in training camp, and it has not ended. And
Sean
it's
says Sean says he would pay for an apartment, Mike, and make the whole entire offensive line live together. You know what? At this point, this might be where we're at. This might be where we're at. You get
uh,
like the bunk beds, like the old Three Stooges episodes. That's what I picture happening.
yeah, they're not allowed to leave each other's sight. They're
No,
just it's uh of course they move in. You're gonna might as well put a rotating door in there for the amount of
I
injuries.
know.
The turnstile.
Who the hell's feeding these guys? Also,
Oh,
Mike, tonight, couple big games. Don't forget, there's two Monday night games tonight. The first one starts at 7:30, Tennessee at Miami, but I think the second one is the more intriguing of the two. This is because one of the final three undefeated teams in the NFL will be playing against the Detroit Lions. Seattle Seahawks at Detroit. This game, I think is going to be a really good one. Again, this Detroit team has been improving. They were in the NFC Championship, and they should have won the NFC Championship game last year. They lose it to San Francisco. That is the second game of the night. Again, Seattle comes in 3-0. We are down to three undefeated teams as the Bills and the Steelers get knocked off over the weekend. However, your Kansas City Chiefs, Minnesota Vikings looking good again, and the
oh,
Seattle Seahawks are the only three teams remaining that has yet to lose.
should have been
Um,
us. Should have been us.
Again, I'm not upset with where we're at.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm down after a Steeler loss. I'm
Yeah,
doing a lot better than I was during the game.
yeah.
So, I had time to process my emotions.
Mike, let's bust through. We got to bust through our grades for the
Oh,
for the game of the week. We do grade on the same grade scale as a school because we're been adolescent at times. Mike, the grade scale is A, B, C, D, F. I'm going to go through positions, and we're just going to do this real quick because we have quite a few things to still go over through the day here.
Yeah.
My quarterback position. What do you grade the Steeler quarterback position for the
Mm.
day yesterday?
Let's go B minus. I thought he played pretty good game overall. Some areas need to improve, but B B minus.
All right, running backs, Mike. This includes all of them. Patterson, Najee, even Shrimp. What's his name? Peter Scrampton.
Was Scrampton, Peter Frampton in there?
Scramplin. Shramplin.
Hmm, I think what Patterson did bumps this grade up to a D plus.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Again, though, the running game, how much of that had to do with the offensive line, though? Again, we did have the discussion we had about Najee and about the lack of explosion, but how much does the offensive line play into the
Oh,
running
I'm
game?
getting to them next.
Okay.
Getting to them
I do want to
next.
say good morning to Jen as well. Great to see you. Hey, never a problem. It's always nice to see you. Uh, Next position, guys, is the tight end position, Mike. Between Mount Washington and Pat Fryermuth, do you have anything bad to say? I mean, come on.
No, I thought they played a good game in pass game and run game blocking. I thought they played well. B plus. No one's getting an A this week. We lost, so no one's getting
How about the wide receiver position, Mike?
C minus. Got to hold on to the ball, George. You want to be the guy.
On
You
the other
can't
hand,
fumble in that situation.
on the other hand, he did have 7 catches for
I know,
113.
I know,
So
but
okay,
nope. You want to be the guy. You got to be the guy.
absolutely. That certainly rip your heart out. That
Yeah,
fumble before the
that
half.
could have that helped lose the game right there.
Offensive line, Mike.
D minus.
And the fact that you can't really give him an F because it's none of these guys are really starters.
Like D minus is harsh too, because like you said, like you got a rookie, two rookies, two second year guys, and then Dan Moore Jr.
And
That's my
Broderick
guy
Jones,
there.
if we were in good shape, Broderick Jones wouldn't even be on the field.
Yeah, he'd be that swing tackle. So yeah, I like it. D minus is harsh, but you know what?
Um,
For them, I'll grade on the curve. I'll give them a C minus.
all right, Mike, we got to hop over on the other side of the ball. Defensive line. What do you give the defensive line? I'm talking
Ah,
Keanu Benton.
oh,
I'm talking Cam Hayward. I'm talking Larry Ogunjobi, DeMarvin Leal, the whole way down the list. What do you give the defensive line for their performance on Sunday?
Larry Ogunjobi helped this grade a lot, so they
Yeah.
will get a D plus.
All right.
The lack of anything from anyone besides Ogunjobi was concerning.
Linebackers. I'm talking about a linebacking core that lacks melatonin. I got to tell you, I mentioned this
Melanin.
to
Melatonin
melanin,
is the one that puts you to sleep.
and what I got to mention to you is this, Mike. If they started off with Anthony Richardson, so if you have a athletic quarterback, you're starting 3 white linebackers. I don't know. I just, in
Well,
my opinion,
but our white linebackers are fast though. They're fast and athletic. You know, they're proud additions to
were
Mendenhall's
they
team
really
white.
yesterday? Were they
Yesterday
really?
they were not. They were
Herbig did
not.
not do anything. TJ
Watt
Watt did
didn't.
not do anything.
Queen
And
did
Peyton,
nothing.
well, he's not
I did see Elaine Roberts in there go in there destroy some people, but
in Peyton Wilson. Again, he makes the tackle, but he's constantly chasing. He's never able
yeah,
to keep up
I
with.
think that's just a processing issue that will play it up in time. But this linebacking core for us heralded as they are D minus baby D minus.
Um,
You can give an F to special ed.
then I like the do you feel like I do, referring first to the Peter Frampton. Uh, Also, Mike, let's go to the defensive backfield. Not too many white guys back here, so I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
What do you give the DBs?
Um.
They did have too
hmm.
much melatonin.
C minus. The C
C
minus.
minus.
It was god awful back there. Like, what were you doing back there?
I
In
know.
pass coverage, everyone. Peasy, you got to catch that. You're taking too much. You're Yeah, you wear 24, but you're not Ike Taylor. You're allowed to catch it. You're allowed to catch it.
I know. I'm not going to take it hard. I know he's your guy. He had the dropped interception. He had the pass interference, and then the one play where he got dragged like 9 yards. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
that pass interference was soft. That was soft.
John says Ryan saying lack of melatonin made me choke on my bong water.
He kept saying it all day yesterday too when we were watching the game. He kept saying, I did not correct him because I
Yeah,
knew he
that
was
that
going to say it on the show.
and then
That's
Brian from One Man's Opinion on Sports, I'm pretty sure I said Watt and company wouldn't do anything against these Colts just like last year. Watt and Herbig are too small versus the run. Where are you wrong? I would like to debate that, but again, after watching the game I watched yesterday, that's 100% true. Mike, so that was the DBs. Let's go to the special teams. Really not a lot to go off of. I like the Calvin Austin, the third 30-yard punt return. He had one punt return on the day, and that was for 30 yards. Besides for that, not too much, but special teams.
uh special teams. They're going to get a nice. Let's give them a B plus.
And the punter, three punts, he averaged 34 yards. Again, they did nothing great for me.
Yeah, with
But
two
they were
inside the
solid.
20 though. Two
They didn't
inside the
make any
20.
mistakes.
Yeah.
That's what's you kind of want to fall back on that. Next, Mike, is the coaching. You always grade a little higher than I do. What do you give the coaching for the game yesterday?
Hmm.
I didn't think they looked very prepared through the first three quarters, and then execution was the other part of it. So don't get me wrong, it wasn't all coaching, but I
Yeah.
certainly think coaching played a role.
C minus. They
You're
were able to.
100% right. P, you're 100% right. If DBs could catch, they would be wide receivers. These are the people that become DBs in the league, the guys that aren't good enough to be wide receivers.
In like Jen, I think it was some of that coverage back there was zone coverage
Yeah.
that where he it looks like he's getting burnt, but don't know like where's his responsibility and where's safety start. And they were playing a lot of zone defense yesterday, and I was screaming for them to go to man, play some man with some zone mixed in. It was frustrating to watch. But
And
he catch that
finally,
ball, Peasy.
and finally, like the overall grade for the week. Everything that we've discussed so far, you got a bunch into this grade. What do you give this team for their overall grade yesterday?
C minus.
What is it?
C minus.
C minus? Jen asked about Moon. Is he hurt, Mike?
He's on IR. I don't know if it's season ending or the 4 weeks.
And how
That's what I was trying to find out.
And also, if you are just tuning in, James Daniels is done for the season. Everybody, the offensive lineman, hurt his ankle in the game yesterday. It's a torn Achilles. James Daniels is done for the season. That's a blow,
I see
man.
I see on the depth chart. Oh, there it is. Yeah, he was placed on August 29th on injury reserve, so he might be able, if it wasn't a serious injury, he should be able to come back, and hopefully he can get up to speed.
Who's that?
Moon.
Oh, Moon. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because it's like an undisclosed injury is what I'm seeing on the injury reports. I just don't know if he's out for the year or just out for to where he's eligible to return.
The team just didn't have the listen. The first three quarters, they didn't look like they had the fight in them. They didn't. I was surprised at how they were able to turn things around and again score three touchdowns in the last quarter of the
Yeah.
game. Maybe that's encouraging. Maybe they could learn a little bit from that. But again, they just didn't look like they had the fight. I want to see a little bit more fight in this team moving forward as the games and teams that we have on the schedule are going to get harder again. October is going to yield Dallas. It's going to yield the Las Vegas Raiders, who just beat again the Browns and the Ravens, and also the two New York teams in back-to-back weeks, the Jets and the Giants. And after that, you have a pretty damn good Washington Commanders team out of nowhere. Here they are sitting atop the NFC East. And then after that, all division games, Eagles, Kansas City. It gets more difficult, so we have to figure some things out here. John says, I won't have to see the extra condom helmet anymore.
that dude.
Yeah. I see one of the Colts had one too. Did you see that? There's a couple
I think
guys out there.
Taylor had the guardian cap as well?
Who Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
Yeah, I think he had it. I can't remember.
Nah, I don't think he did. I think it was a lineman, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Guys, Mike are down to about 10 minutes of the show. 12 minutes. Let me blow through some of these other things. We'll finish up with some Steelers, and we do have some Dallas Cowboy trivia for the day, guys, because that is our next opponent, of course. Pittsburgh Pirates, their season is done. They matched last year's record with a 76-86 record by beating the Yankees 2 out of 3 this weekend in the Bronx. Paul Skeens, he gets the nice win. He finishes up with an 11-3 record, a 1.96 ERA, 170 strikeouts on the season. Also, Jared Jones gets a win over the Yankees over the weekend. They Pirates lose the very last game with a Bailey Falter start yesterday. And they do again, as I said, finish 76-86, matching their last year record.
Hey, they did not um regress.
That's right.
That's a positive for the Pirates.
Also, Mike, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they came to a tie with the Birmingham Legion in their soccer game. Mike, they finished 1-1. Pittsburgh plays the Miami FC next Saturday at 7 o'clock. If you're into the
Wow.
boys of winter here in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Penguins are back in action over the next 2 nights against the Detroit Red Wings. Tonight they are on the road. Tomorrow, back at home against the Red Wings because the game they were supposed to play on Saturday, they had airplane issues. They weren't able to make the trek up to Detroit to play. So they play Detroit tonight, tomorrow. Over the weekend, they did in fact beat the Senators, Mike, 5-2. Malkin had a hat trick. Sidney Crosby had 2 goals. Pittsburgh Penguins looking pretty sharp early on in the preseason.
Yeah, it's just preseason, but it's nice to see those two still flying high at their advanced age because we need them, and they prove they can do it. Still do it.
Mike, your Penn State Nittany Lions, they topped the Illinois Fighting Illini 21-7. They
Oh yeah.
move up to 7 in the country while the Illinois drops down to 24. Penn State plays next. They have UCLA Saturday at noon.
You want to talk about a slow starting offense and team?
Yeah.
Go watch Penn State. It is. Oh, I'll throw my remote through the TV.
Pitt Panthers had the day off yesterday. They play North Carolina this Saturday at noon. North Carolina lost to Duke over the weekend after letting up 70 points to James Madison last weekend. Hope the Pitt could get off to a nice 5-0 start. They got North Carolina this week. Start conference play. Also, Florida State loses again. That's always a great thing to see. I just not a Florida State guy at all. And finally, the Alabama Georgia college game on Saturday night. If you missed that, shame on you. What a game. What a
Oh,
game. Alabama wins 41-34 over Georgia. It was a playoff game. No two ways about that. This is a game that you're probably going to see later on as well.
can we get that 17-year-old wide receiver on the Steelers right now?
Right.
He might be a better option than what we have out there.
Hall of Fame High School, Aliquippa High School, right here in Western Pennsylvania, the high school that has more NFL Hall of Famers than anybody else. They come back. They lose a game in a rare loss last week to Penn Hills, where Aaron Donald's out of. They come back and beat Newcastle, where Geno Stone also plays in the NFL right now. He's a
Mm-hmm.
safety in Cincinnati. Aliquippa beats Newcastle 62-21 to
You knew
get
that
back.
was coming.
You knew it was coming. You don't beat Aliquippa twice in a row. They don't lose 2 games in a row.
No.
They just don't. They never will. They never have. And finally, Caitlin Clark, she wraps it up, guys, over the weekend. Caitlin Clark for the Indiana Fever, the star rookie. She wins Rookie of the Year in the WNBA, albeit her team is knocked out of the playoffs. She did, in fact, win Rookie of the Year. I don't think many people were surprised by this. And my concern, like, I want to see what the numbers do now in the WNBA playoffs that Caitlin
Yeah.
Clark isn't there compared to when she was. That's going to
Yeah.
be
And
interesting.
then I don't compare last year's to this year's too, the numbers too, throughout the whole playoff, see how much, like you said, if it big drop from her leaving or does it go up a little bit from her being there? It's going to be interesting to see.
Absolutely. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumyinzers.com. Remember, if you're new here, go there, check it out. We have all kinds of links to our social media over there. The blog still in hiatus. It might be gone. I might replace it with something else. But we also have the merch store over there at the2dumyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. There is a lot of cool stuff over there. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. Also, feel free to come over to our Facebook page, take a look around, Instagram, X, Threads, everything. We're out there. Mike, the question of the day, we're doing Dallas Cowboy trivia, as much as it pains me, but the hated Cowboys are coming to town on Sunday night. Snoop Dogg will be in the house. I'm sure there'll be a lot of other celebrities as well. I think that Michael Keaton, I've seen he was back in town and a few other things. So it should be a lot of fun. But guys, this week we're going to be doing Dallas Cowboys trivia questions. Mike, put on your thinking cap. Guys on the board, people at home, here we go. Dallas Cowboy trivia. The Dallas Cowboys were known as the team of the 90s. How many Super Bowls did they win in the 90s, Mike, and who were they against?
Oh God.
Take a moment to think that over. We are live. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day right here on YouTube. We hope you continue to check us out. All right, guys on the board, Mike, people at home, here we go. One more time. Dallas Cowboy question of the day, because this is who the Steelers play next. The Dallas Cowboys are known as the team of the 90s. How many Super Bowls did they win in the 90s, and who were they against? All right, Mike, you ready to give it a shot?
I'm ready. I'm ready,
All right.
man.
So, how many Super Bowls, first off, did the Cowboys win in their particular decade?
3.
3 Super Bowls. All right. Then the second half of the question is who did the Dallas Cowboys beat in those 3 Super Bowls?
Bills, Steelers.
Bills, Steelers. Is this your final answer?
Final answer. Lock it in.
I'm locking you in. You say that they won 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. P on the board says 3. He says Bills twice, maybe as well. You said they had 3 wins. 2 were against the Bills, 1 were against the Steelers, and that is your final answer. We'll give the guys on the board just a moment here. He says Bills twice, maybe, and Broncos. All right. Got his answer in. I do want to remind everybody as well, tomorrow, once the games are complete tonight after Monday Night Football, we will be going over the picks. And Mike Derpy does have the slight edge on you in the picks right now. 2 games to 1. And this is for Permanis at the end of the year. So take it serious.
Because I went out, I made some bold predictions. Dirk played it safe. He's coward.
And that does have him in the lead.
I know, right? He's
um,
playing smart. I'm, being bold.
Brian from over on One Man's, he says 3. Brian, if you have any teams, let me know because I'm getting ready to move forward on this. Mike says 3 wins, 2 were against the Bills, 1 was against the Steelers. P says 3 wins, 2 against the Bills, 1 against the Broncos. And if you want to give me a couple teams, Brian, because I again am moving forward here. All right, so the question of the day is this: Cowboys are known as the team of the 90s, unfortunately. At least they're not the team of the 70s. That's all that matters. How many Super Bowls did they win in the 90s, and who were they against? Mike said they won 3 Super Bowls, and they were against the Bills, and the Steelers. Again, P said 3, Bills, Broncos. Ugh. And Brian also says Bills, Steelers. All right, guys. Cowboys team of the 90s. How many Super Bowls? Who they beat? They did win 3. They won 3 in 4 years. They beat the Bills in back-to-back Super Bowls, which were the final 2 of the Bills' 4 consecutive. In the final year, they did beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on January 28th, 1996 in Tempe, Arizona, when Neil O'Donnell throws 2 interceptions to Brown. Pretty much gave the game away. But that was it, Mike, Brian, P, everybody. They did win 3, and it was Bills, skip a year, and then Steelers. So good job on that, guys.
Hot route, Andre Hastings. Hot route.
You still hate Andre Hastings for that.
If he would have ran the route like he should have with the blitzer coming, those are 2 completed passes. We win that game.
I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out with us and checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. We really, truly do. We certainly couldn't do it without you. We want to thank everybody on the board as always. You guys always keep things interesting. I also do want to say check out One Man's Opinion on Sports with Brian Pasquale every Wednesday on WBVP 99.3 Beaver County Radio. You can always find that particular show on YouTube and Facebook, where you can pull it up at any time. And also, while it's live, you could go to the radio station 99.3, or you could go to the website. Hope you do check that out. Also on Sundays, Brian, on Brian's show, Mike and I do hop on over there on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock for the Steeler pregame show. That's every Sunday morning at 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And finally, these videos that Brian keeps making and uploading are really awesome. Guys, go over, check out One Man's Opinion on Sports right here on YouTube. And you can check out all these videos. He's doing a lot of work, and I think they're looking really good. So go check them out. Like anything before we start getting ready to wrap it up, man?
Yeah, some sad news. Dikembe Mutombo died today.
No.
Yeah,
When? Today?
yeah. It was
Oh,
announced like maybe like a half hour ago. I'll wait till the end of the show to bring everyone down even more. Yeah, but Mr. No 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 has
oh man.
passed away.
I like Matumbo. I like him a lot.
I did like everyone liked Dikembe.
Man.
Yeah. The if anyone remembers the Beverly Hills movies, the Taggart, that actor, he died yesterday. So it's
I remember
Steelers lost. It's rough
the
one.
one Matumbo memory that I have. They were an 8 seed with the Nuggets. The Seattle SuperSonics were the 1 seed, and the Kembe Matumbo. Oh, peace saying brain cancer. That sucks, man.
Yeah.
Matumbo and the Nuggets, they did beat the number 1 Seattle Supersonics, and I can specifically remember Matumbo laying on the floor, and
Yep.
it was such a
Uh-huh.
memory. That's
I just
unfortunate,
love the
man.
commercial he had when he was swiping away everyone's groceries, trying to put
Yeah,
back in their best. No, 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 no.
always,
Dikembe.
always like the Kembe. That stinks, man. Guys, tonight, if you do want to catch again the Penguins are on a back-to-back night against the Red Wings tonight in Detroit, tomorrow in Pittsburgh, and also the two Monday Night Football games tonight. 7:30 starts Tennessee at Miami. Mike says that what's that guy that started for Baltimore last year?
Snoop Huntley.
Huntley. Remember Huntley? He's going to be starting tonight for Miami. And then also in the second game, the undefeated Seattle Seahawks will be taking on a pretty damn good Detroit Lions team. I think that game's going to be pretty good. Can't wait to check that out. Mike, anything else, man, before we get ready to roll?
I got nothing, man. I think we covered it all. Let's put the loss behind us and move on to Dallas.
I'm ready to do that. It's
Yeah.
way too early to get that down. I think
Yeah.
again we're 3-1 at the end of 4 games. We are top of the division. We lose our only loss by 3 points. So again, I'm a little bit more optimistic than I thought that I was going to be. So again, let's get ready for Dallas. Short memory, forget about this game against
Yep.
Indianapolis. We'll be back all week to talk about this game leading up to the Dallas Cowboy game. This is always a big one in the NFL between the Steelers and the Cowboys. If that's it for you, Mike.
That's all I got, man. Good show, everyone.
All right. So again, tonight, Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh Penguins. We'll be back tomorrow. First thing to talk about all this and more. We hope that you join us then. For Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two Dum Yinzers. Everybody have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.